Welcome to Veridical Ed. Stop thinking you need to spend months learning complex coding languages to build high-ticket software. In the 2026-2027 market, the game is all about lightning-fast, high-power execution using no-code and low-code stacks. If you don't know how to build apps visually and deliver them in days, you're leaving thousands of dollars on the table every week. Stay locked in right here because this skill will completely scale your freelance income. Just last week, I was chatting with a really highly skilled traditional developer, and he completely lost out on a massive enterprise contract. Why? Well, because while he quoted 6 months to build this custom internal dashboard for a logistics company, a no-code freelancer swooped right in and promised a fully functional, totally secure version in just 9 days. Look, the client didn't care at all about the underlying syntax. They just cared about solving their problem, like immediately. And honestly, that is the exact reality we're dealing with right now. If you aren't leveraging visual builders today, you're simply moving way too slow to compete for the best clients. So I am absolutely thrilled to welcome you to this Veridical Ed Explainer. Consider me your personal career strategist today as we analyze this massive structural shift happening in the software industry right now. The freelance landscape is evolving at a breakneck pace. We're transitioning away from this era where software was, a bespoke, artisanal craft that took entire quarters to develop, right into an era of rapid assembly and deployment. Being able to quickly adapt to this new methodology, that is exactly what separates the top 1% of earners from literally everyone else. Businesses are just moving faster than ever, and they need digital infrastructure that actually keeps up with their operational speed. So, this explainer is designed to be your ultimate blueprint for completely dominating this new digital market. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The 2026 software revolution. 2. Core no-code ecosystems. 3. The lightning-fast workflow. 4. High-ticket monetization strategies. And finally, 5. Your first micro app build. Let's just get right into it. Section 1. The 2026 software revolution and exactly why traditional development is becoming totally obsolete for the independent contractor. We really have to look at the macro market analysis here. If you're still relying entirely on slow line-by-line coding cycles, you are frankly putting your freelance business at serious risk. Traditional coding means months of, painstaking syntax work, endless debugging, and exhaustive testing, usually just to yield a really basic prototype. But the 2026 no-code reality, it's all about lightning-fast execution. You're completely bypassing the friction of syntax to achieve in a matter of days what literally used to take entire quarters. And this brilliantly illustrates the massive paradigm shift we're facing. This isn't just a minor tool upgrade or some trendy shortcut. It's an entirely new way of engineering software that completely redefines the timeline of digital creation. So, the absolutely crucial point here is this. Speed is not a gimmick. In today's economy, speed is the ultimate weapon. When you can look a client in the eye and promise a fully functional, secure, scalable application in a tiny fraction of the traditional timeline, you instantly unlock the ability to capture high-paying enterprise contracts. Think about it in practical terms, right? When a nationwide logistics company needs a custom dashboard to track their delivery fleets in real time, they don't care about your tech stack. They don't care how elegant your code repository is. They care that you can deploy a working solution by next week to stop their operational bleeding. Corporate clients demand rapid deployment. They demand agility, and they need to hit their market fast. Your ability to deliver that exact speed is what makes you an invaluable asset. Okay, moving to Section 2, Core No-Code Ecosystems. You can basically think of this as your digital armory. To win in this revolution, you obviously need the right tools. You wouldn't build a modern skyscraper with just a hammer and nails, right? And you certainly can't build 2026-level software without a deeply integrated, highly powerful tech stack. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we break down the 3 main pillars that completely replace traditional code. First up, advanced visual builders. These handle the front end. Instead of meticulously writing CSS or HTML, you're literally dragging and dropping visual logic blocks to create complex, highly responsive user interfaces. Imagine just building a sleek, dynamic user portal entirely by configuring visual components on a canvas. Crazy, right? Second, we have database connectors. These allow you to securely store and structure massive amounts of data. So imagine securely hooking up tens of thousands of customer records and inventory logs in seconds, establishing super complex relationships without writing a single complicated SQL query. And finally, the third pillar, API automation tools. These are essentially the nervous system of your application. They seamlessly talk to other apps and services. If you need your app to, say, automatically send an invoice via Stripe when a project status changes, API tools handle that logic instantly. You're effectively acting as a master systems architect here, combining these robust visual blocks to build incredibly powerful software ecosystems. Section 3. The lightning-fast workflow. This is your daily battle plan. Listen, having the tools is one thing, but execution is absolutely everything. This is where we transition from theory into the actual tactical execution phase. To consistently land those big enterprise contracts, you need a repeatable master architect blueprint that guarantees rapid delivery every single time. Let's move to and see how this builds a seamless bridge from a raw concept to a finished product in just 5 days. Picture a typical Monday, okay? Step 1 is the client idea. You sit down, you capture their vision, and you map out the core logic and data structure. Boom. By Tuesday, you hit step 2, the visual prototype. Because you're using visual builders, you can literally put a clickable, interactive version in front of the client in a matter of hours, which allows them to feel the product immediately. Wednesday and Thursday bring us right into step 3, back-end integration. This is where you connect those robust databases and API automation triggers we just talked about, basically wiring up the brains of the operation. And then by Friday, you reach step 4, launch, a fully functional, secure, market-ready application delivered in under a week. This workflow doesn't just improve on traditional expectations, guys, it completely shatters them. Section 4, high-ticket monetization strategies, or as I like to call it, getting paid your true worth. I want to speak directly to you right now. If you master this lightning-fast workflow, you absolutely cannot continue to charge by the hour. No way! When you use visual builders to finish a massive project in 3 days instead of 3 months, an hourly rate actually punishes you for your efficiency. We need to completely restructure how you package your financial payoff, so you can finally stop trading hours for dollars. First up, we have fixed-price projects. You quote based on the final deliverable, meaning your incredible speed directly increases your profit margin. Second is value-based pricing. Now this one is huge. You charge a percentage of the revenue or the savings the app is going to generate for the client's business. For instance, if your custom app automates some manual data entry task that's currently costing a company $50,000 a year in employee time, charging them $5,000 for the build is an absolute steal for them, even if it only took you 3 days to put together. And finally, high-ticket monthly retainers. You don't just build the app and walk away. You become their ongoing technical partner for iterations, maintenance, and scaling. And that guarantees you predictable, recurring cash flow. Take a moment to really process this target. $10,000 plus a month in recurring revenue from just 1 or 2 enterprise retainers. I know it sounds wild, but this isn't some pie-in-the-sky pipe dream. This is the tangible, factual reality of the current market for developers who can iterate and deploy at the speed of thought. Think about the psychology of a business owner for a second. When their entire company relies on your custom no-code infrastructure to run its daily operations, managing their sales pipelines, onboarding their employees, tracking their inventory, your monthly retainer completely ceases to be just some freelance fee. It literally becomes a mandatory operational expense for them, exactly like their rent or their utility bill. They simply cannot afford to lose your expertise because you are the architect of their digital ecosystem. And building that kind of deep integration, that is exactly how you create real, bulletproof, sustainable financial security. Section 5, your first micro app build. Let's talk about some immediate field execution. I am incredibly passionate about making sure you don't just passively consume this information, but that you actually put it into practice right away. Knowing the theory of no code is great, for sure, but building the muscle memory of visual logic is where the magic actually happens. In fact, because this methodology is so lightning fast, you can complete this entire exercise this very afternoon. As soon as this explainer ends, I want you to run through this super straightforward 4-step exercise. Step 1, pick a very simple concept. Seriously, don't overcomplicate it. Choose something like an internal task tracker or maybe a simple client directory. Step 2, map the data visually. Ask yourself, what specific information needs to be saved and organized? Step 3, connect your visual front end to that database so the information flows seamlessly back and forth. And finally, step 4, test your brand new functional micro app. You are going to accomplish all of this today without writing a single line of traditional syntax. I promise you, once you experience that aha moment of your very first successful build, the entire landscape is going to open up for you. So I'll leave you with this final critical question. Will you build your first app today, or will you let the market leave you behind? The 2026 software revolution is already here, and trust me, it isn't waiting for anyone. The powerful visual tools are right there at your fingertips. The high-paying corporate clients are desperately waiting for rapid solutions, and this methodology is completely ready for you to master. The choice of whether you scale your income to entirely new heights or just get stuck in the slow lane of obsolete development, well, that choice is entirely yours. Get out there, start building, and take absolute control of your freelance future.